Alright, we're going to solve right triangles. Our essential question was, how do I solve right triangles to find all the sides and angles? What's the key word in the essential question?
Right triangles.
They all are right. What's the key word? What have you been solving? How many sides?
3.
You've been solving all 3 sides?
1.
1 or 2. How many angles have you been finding? Just 1. So what is the key word in this sentence? All.
Damn, that's crazy. At least you not care with that. Or on database.
It can be. You'll see why in a second.
Wait, I thought you said.
It can be. You'll see why in a second. Yes, it does. All right, so let's make a column. We have 2 columns here. We're going to do a column for sides. Shh. Shh. And we're going to do a column for angles. And what do I mean by sides and angles? How do I find the sides, and then how do I find the angles? Do you understand? So if you want to add the words how do I find, you can. We're making a column for sides and angles, because we need to find all the sides and all the angles. Now you have a triangle, correct? So if you have a triangle, how many sides do you have? 3. How many angles do you have? 3. So how many things are you finding? 6. Because we have 3 angles, 3 sides, which is total of what? 6. Make sense? Okay, so you're finding all 3 sides, all 3 angles. Now, let's start with sides. How do you find sides of a triangle, a right triangle? There's a couple different ways. So what's one of them? Pythagorean theorem. All right. So Pythagorean theorem. Tell me when we use, first of all, what is Pythagorean theorem? C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Okay, when do we use Pythagorean theorem? How many sides do you have? You have 2 sides. So in other words, what this is saying is that if I want to find the missing side, and I have 2 sides, guess what I can use? Pythagorean theorem. Do you understand? So this is saying if I have 2 sides, and I want to find the missing side, I can use Pythagorean theorem. So you see how this chart works? Okay, if you want to add more words, you can. I am being very, obviously these are your notes, right? So if you want to add more words, you can. All right, how else do we find sides? That's when we have similarity. We're not worried about similarity, okay? We're only worried about what we've done in the last 2 weeks. Sine, cosine, and tangent. What do you need for sine, cosine, and tangent?
Either 2 sides.
At least what?
No, 1 side.
An angle and
Side.
1 side. So we have 1 angle and 1 side. Then I can use sine, cosine, and tangent to find my other 2 sides, correct? Because you only have 1 side, and we know a triangle has how many sides? 3, which makes it how many sides missing? 2. Isn't this what you did, like, for the last, 5 days? Not yesterday necessarily, but the last 5 days. Oh yeah, you did have on back your homework yesterday, right? So this is what you've been doing, correct? Nothing here is new. What's a third way? Trig ratios, that's technically this. 30, 60.
45.
What are those called? Special right triangles. So special right triangles, which we also reference as degree, ratio, and opposite. So these are your special right triangles. For special right triangles, what do you need? You need a 30, 60, 90.
45, 45, 90.
Or a 45, 45, 90. Okay? Any other way to find a side? Nope, I think we covered it all. Right? All right, angles. Let's talk about angles. How are you going to find an angle? That's similarity. You did it yesterday. That's sine, cosine, tangent. Inverse. Sine inverse, cosine inverse, or tangent inverse. What do you need to use sine, cosine, or tangent inverse? What do you have to have? It's when you have what? Go look at your examples. What did we have?
One side.
Go look at your, we had two sides. Do you have any angles? No. Because the whole point of this is to find what? To find the angles. So if I don't have any angles, well, I need to find an angle. How am I going to do that? I'm going to use the inverse. Make sense? Okay? It's another way to find angles. Special right triangles, we already know the angles at that point. Question. If I was using trig, and I told you this was 36 degrees, right? Whatever, give a side, make it 12, I don't care. But if I'm using trig, but I don't really care about the trig right now, I care about the angles, how do you find the other angle? Add them up and equal it to 180. What is that called? You remember? I'll help you. It's called triangle sum. Triangle sum says that all three angles add up to equal what? 180. So triangle sum is when you add up and equal to 180 degrees. Yes? How many angles do you need for triangle sum? Or what do you need for triangle sum? You need to have what? Have two what? Two angles. So all I'm finding at that point is how many angles? Just one. Okay? This kind of makes sense. So you kind of use this kind of like a flow chart a little bit. Not really a flow chart, but like look at it and say, okay, I'm looking for sides. Now what do I have? Do I have two sides? Do I have one side at an angle? Or do I have a 30, 60, 90? Right? And then you're going to look over here and be like, okay, I need to find the angles. Do I have two sides? Or do I have two angles and I just need to find one? Then I can use this. Make sense? Okay. Example time. So, here we go. I'm going to give you the directions. You ready what the directions say? Solve the right triangle. Now, do the directions really tell me what I'm doing? No, it doesn't. It just says solve the right triangle. Your homework will look just like that. It's going to say solve the right triangle. And it's going to tell you to round. So in order to say, no, what it means to solve the right triangle means you need all three angles and all three sides. Okay? So anytime you see the word solve the right triangle, you need all three angles and all three sides. Do you think that's a very good question for a test?
No.
Yes. It is. Yeah. Yeah. I cannot breathe right now. Triangle. A, B, and C. 10, 36 degrees. Ready? First thing you're going to do is if we want all three sides and all three angles, let's list them out so we know where they are, okay? So, what are our angles that we have? Angle what? Angle C. Angle A. Well, we have three angles. What's the third one? Angle B. I don't know it, but I know it's an angle, right? So I'm going to list them in order. The measure of angle A, the measure of angle B, and the measure of angle C. It doesn't matter if you don't go in order. I usually just go alphabetical, right? Why am I putting M in the front? Because it's the measure and it's going to be measured in what? Degrees. If I don't put the M, then I just want the name, right? So the measure of angle A, do I know how much that is? I do. We're going to fill it in a second. What are my sides? Side AB, side BC, and side CA. Good? 3 sides, 3 angles. Alright, now let's fill in what we know. What do you know by looking at this picture? The measure of angle A is how much? 36 degrees. What else do you know? The measure of angle C is how much? 90. What don't you know about the angles? Which one are you missing? You're missing B. So I like to underline knowing that that's what I'm going to fill in a second, right? I'm not going to solve yet. We will in a minute, but right now I just want to fill in what I know, therefore I know what I need to start with. All right, sides. What sides do you know? AB is how much? Do you know anything else? No, so leave them blank. So now looking at this problem, I look and I'm like, well, this doesn't look too bad. Even though I need 6 things, I already have how many of them? I already have 3, so I already have half. So I need to find the other part. So looking at it, let's look at the angles. We're going to solve for the angles. Look at your angles and what do you know? How many angles are you missing?
1.
Just 1. So how many do you have? 2. So if I look up at the top, at the chart, what does the chart say to use? Triangle sum, because I have what? I have 2 angles. So go back to the bottom and let's set up triangle sum. Triangle sum says what? The measure of angle?
So 180.
The measure of angle?
B.
How about A? Plus?
Measure of angle C.
The measure of angle, how about B? Plus?
Oh! Plus the measurement angle C.
The measure of angle C equals how much? 180 degrees. Do you know the measure of angle A?
Yes.
You sure?
36
36?
degrees.
Okay. Do you know the measure of angle B?
Yes. 90 degrees.
No, I don't.
Oh, shoot. No, I'm talking about C.
Oh, Lord. So it's the measure of angle B plus what's the measure of angle C? 90 equals 180. Now can you solve this? Is this review?
Yes.
Yeah, so solve it. What's the measure of angle B adding to? 126 equals 180. So what's the measure of angle B? How much? Do we agree? I don't know, I'm asking you. Did we get 54 degrees? If you don't have a calculator and you need one, you probably could go get one. So fill it in my part over here. Alright, finding sides. How many sides do you have?
1.
1. So look up at the top. I want you to decide how you're going to solve it. Don't tell me. Decide how you're going to solve it. You have, stop talking. You only have 1 side. Look up at the top. Decide how you're going to solve it. Listen on your sides. Tell the person next to you how you're going to solve it using your sides. Which one are you using up there at the top? Sebastian, check next to you. Check with the Boston Red Sox fan today. Yesterday was White Sox. Today is Boston.
Yeah.
Okay. How are we checking? How are we going to find it? Sine, cosine, and tangent. Why sine, cosine, and tangent? Because you have 1 side and you have an angle, yes? So what's, I can't speak English, right? Which one am I using? Angle A, good. So sine of what? 36. Cosine of 36. Tangent of 36. Fill in the chart.
Wait, so we just plug in x whatever?
Okay, so let's put an X. Where do you want to put X?
I want to put it on AC.
Okay. What do you want to put on BC? Okay. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Great.
Okay.
What if like one of them already has X, we just put the line through and then
None of them will have a variable now. You have to find it.
so we just make a variable.
Yep.
Great.
You're using angle A. What's your opposite? Y. You're using angle A. What's your hypotenuse? 10. What's your adjacent? X plus you. What function are you not using? Tangent. Very good. Can you set up two proportions for me?
Of course.
Can you solve them? Okay. Check with someone when you're done.
Hey, jump out.
Oh, thank you. Check with someone. Matthew, you should have two answers. Are you done? No, you're not. Get to work. The problem that's on the board. Make sure you check.
How many seniors?
Gonna be seniors? You're scared. All right, ready? All right, first proportion is sine of 36 degrees equals y over 10, yes? Cross multiply. You get,
5.9.
well, no, not yet. I get y equals 10 times sine of 36 degrees, yes? So I get y is approximately what?
5.08. And then you're going to get 5.9.
It's gonna be 5.87, but it's gonna round up.
Oh, yeah, that.
That's probably better, yeah. All right, so up here at the top, we're going to go ahead and put 5.9 for which one? BC, correct?
Why would we do that, though? Like, why couldn't it be CA?
What letter was that?
Why?
Where's y listed?
Oh. You're right.
Okay. Let's do the second proportion. Cosine of 36 equals, oops, that's an x, over 10. Cross multiply when you put the 1. You get x is equal to 10 times cosine of 36, yes?
Yeah.
We get x is approximately
8.1.
8.1. 8.1 goes for CA, yes? Makes sense. Questions?
And this is just one
Is-
problem?
Yes. Is any of this new?
No.
No. It's just putting it what? All together. We good here? We're not done. We're going to do another one. Because this one here had this angle. What did I not give you? Let's do the other one. Yes.
Yay. Man, it's not fun.
No, sir. It's homework time.
We have homework?
I'm glad you know the day of the week.
The only time Friday?
Alright. Here we go. A, B, and C. One side is 4, one side is 14, and that's all you know. So what I want you to do first is make your 6 things up at the top that you're solving for. That not going to solve yet. All you're doing is filling in what you know. So go ahead and put all 3 angles and all 3 sides and fill in what you know. Underline what you're going to find. Yes, it is. Check with your partner, see if you have everything filled in that you know. What we're going to find. Alright, you should have the measure of angle A, the measure of angle B, and the measure of angle C, yes? Alright, what are your sides? AB, BC, and CA. What do you know? BC is 4. What else do you know? CA is 14. What else do you know? Measure angle C is what? 90. Very good. So I'm looking for the measure of angle A, the measure of angle B, and AB, yes? Alright. Let's find our angles. How many angles do you have?
1.
Just 1. But how many sides do you have?
No.
2. So what are you looking for?
Side angles.
What are you looking for? The target theorem we're going to use in a second, but we're not there yet. We're looking for the angles. So looking under angles, what are you using?
Sine, cosine, and tangent.
No.
Inverse.
Inverse. Inverse.
Inverse. So where are you? You should be like this. You should be like this. Looking under angles, and you know that you have what? 2 sides. Do you have 2 angles?
Yeah.
No. So if I don't have 2 angles, guess what I don't get to use? I don't get to use triangle sum. But what do I get to use? Sine inverse, cosine inverse, tangent inverse. Understood? Okay, so set that up. What angle do you want to use, A or B? All right, let's use A.
Or do we?
Oops. Let's do it. All right, for A, what is your hypotenuse?
It's a line.
It's a line. What's your opposite?
Opposite is a 4.
4. What's your adjacent? Good. What am I using? Tangent, what? Inverse, good. So, tangent inverse of angle A equals, what's your fraction? 4 over 14. Rounding to the nearest what? 10. Everyone should be doing what? Check with someone next to you, see if you have it. Check. All right, what's our angle measure? All right, let's try this again. What's our angle measure? 15.9 degrees. All right, so up at the top, measure of angle A, I should change that to approximation. It's 15.9 degrees. Yes? All right, finding measure of angle B, you can do it one of two ways. Triangle sum is probably the easiest way. What does triangle sum say again?
It says you have to have 2 angles.
Good. Do we have two angles now?
Yeah.
All right, so measure of angle A plus measure of angle B plus measure of angle C, I cannot breathe, equals 180 degrees. What are you plugging in for measure of angle A? 15.9. What are you plugging in for measure of angle B? Nothing. Measure of angle B. Plus, what's your measure of angle C? 90 equals 180. What are we adding to one measure of angle A at B? Sorry, I can't think. So measure of angle B plus what? 105.9. Subtract. What does measure of angle B give me? 74 point what? 1. Good. Is that still an approximation? Yeah. The reason why, even though we didn't round here, where did I round for before? On the other one. Got it? Alright. Lastly, I have all the angles. I need a side. How many sides do you have? Go look at the other side and tell me what you're going to use. Shh, don't tell me yet. I know, but I have some people looking. What are we using all together? Oh, we are using Pythagorean theorem. Very good. What does Pythagorean theorem say? C2? No, it does not say C2. C squared.
Equals A squared plus B squared.
Good. What is your C? C squared, I don't know it. What's your A? 14 is fine. What's your B? 4, wonderful. What's 14 squared? That's what a calculator's for, unless you memorized it.
196.
196 is correct. What's 4 squared? 16. Yeah, 13 squared is 169, and then flips the 9 to the 6. Yeah. C squared is equal to, how much is the added to be? 212. Find me what C is approximate and check with someone next to you. Check. Check, check, check. How much? 14 point.
9.
6.
6.
14.6.
How do we get that? Ask Diane. She will help you. Oh, his is the other way. His goes the other way. His goes in order. You have to go backwards, Angel. So you have to do the number and then the second square root.
I forgot how to do it.
Square root. Press the square root button.
14.6.
Okay, then press 212.
Did you have to press second?
I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, let me see.
I don't know if it's second or not. It depends on your calculator. You have to press second on your calculator. Well, he has the other one.
Okay. You have to do the square root, and then you plug in.
212. Press enter. 14 point what? 6. Do we agree with Diane? Yeah? Okay, so up at the top, 14.6. Do you have all 3 angles?
Yeah.
Do you have all 3 sides?
Yeah.
Did I do anything new?
Yes. I was just kidding.
No, I did not. Does this make sense? Yes, there is.
I got a question.
Yes.
Measurement of angle B, isn't it supposed to be negative 174.1? How can it be negative?
How can it be negative?
Because once you subtract,
The inverse.
it's an angle?
It's an angle. Number 2. Well,
Well, it's
can't be
supposed to
negative now. No, it's not.
Well, not that, but
Listen.
the number.
When you take this number, it's 180 subtracting 105.9. Not 105.9 subtracting 180.
But what we're supposed to, like, before, right?
No, you weren't supposed to have a negative before now.
No, like other people. Never mind.
Are we done?
I never did that.
It's always the, yes. You're saying 180 minus the last.